Hello Internet, and welcome to Financial Journey, a channel dedicated to all things personal finance. As the name implies, part of the content on this channel involves tracking my own family's progress towards financial independence. By staying anonymous, I get to be totally transparent, breaking down all of our finances using all real numbers. Beginning this month, I will be expanding this content to not only cover our monthly budget updates, as we'll go over today, and our net worth updates, but also break down our personal investment portfolio and investing strategy, as well as begin a series dedicated to the money mistakes and saving successes that we've had along the way. If this is your first time here, welcome, and thank you so much for giving our video a shot. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and you know the drill by now. So smash the like button and strap in for our budget overview for March 2021. As always, we don't keep a traditional budget and have just a basic framework for our spending and savings goals for the year. We want to invest at least 30% of our gross income, and the remaining 70%, after taxes at least, we can spend or save guilt-free. Despite this simple 70-30 budget, I do still track our spending in various categories, as we will discuss, just to make sure no specific area of spending, such as our housing costs in particular, are getting out of hand and preventing us from doing the other things that we care about, such as travel, once the world returns to normal. As our income, saving, and spending fluctuate somewhat on a month-to-month basis, we really try not to worry too much about any given month, as long as we're on track overall throughout the year. More on that later. This month's quite a bit less interesting than February, to be honest. No bonus means that our income's back down to the usual 2 pay periods on my end. I did get my annual raise, which began to apply to this pay period, bringing our total income to $13,550 for the month, $350 more than we made in January. As nice as it would be to actually keep all that money, as always, Uncle Sam takes his cut before it ever even hits my bank account. This month, that cost us $3,065 for our federal and FICA taxes, sitting right at 22.6% of our monthly income. Likewise, our HSA contribution was again directly withdrawn, moving $475 to that account, which, as I mentioned in my net worth video update, unfortunately didn't cover our health expenditures for the month. I should mention here that I don't usually report in these videos on our healthcare deductibles and so on, because those are being paid for from our HSA, and the money is already being accounted for from this withholding. The next category I've been calling insurance, but I guess a better blanket term would be other withholdings, as this has actually come down despite some of the insurance expenses increasing due to my increased salary. The reason for the drop here is because there was a tax being withheld for my company car use from back in 2020. That was a weird year where I basically didn't have any reason to travel for work, and in fact was banned from traveling for work. As I am able to drive this vehicle for personal use as well, the disparity between personal and business use just resulted in a tax that was being charged through January and February. As of March, our insurance withholdings are down to $485, and taken together, right around $8,500 actually hit my bank account. First and foremost, from that money, we need to cover our liabilities, student loans, car loans, and housing expenses, as these are all pretty much non-negotiable and must be paid. Our non-mortgage debt payments remain the same at $900. As we don't expect to be taking out any more loans, this is something I expect will be consistent until my student loans are paid off. Even then, I might just snowball that payment into the car, but given the 0.9% interest rate, it doesn't really warrant any extra investment, so we'll have to see when we get there. Housing was a bit higher this month as we had the house cleaned for the first time in a few months. This did require a little bit extra elbow grease and a sizable tip. Altogether, this was exactly the same as our tax bill, right at $3,065, which again represents another 22.6% of our income. Finally, we're past our obligations and on to spending money on ourselves. Food and groceries this month were our highest yet year to date at $1,065, coming in at just under 8% of our income for the month. Again, hopefully this is not an every month occurrence. I really think we could realistically get by on an $800 food budget, but we had a few things to celebrate and a few reasons to eat out more often, so a couple of pricey meals here really push this up more than usual. Nonetheless, as we're still on track to meet our predefined 70-30 budget, this, along with the $825 in miscellaneous purchases for the month, really just fall into this guilt-free spending category. And that just leaves our investments. Using our usual dollar cost averaging this month, we invested a total of $4,500 or 33.1% of our income into our 401k and after-tax brokerage accounts. One thing I'm not sure if I mentioned in previous videos is this amount only considers our contributions and does not include the 401k match that I received from my company, which is included on something like our net worth videos. Altogether, after our spending and saving, we're left with a balance of negative $830? In all seriousness, this overspending is 100% expected and nothing we're not already accounting for. If you saw our video last month, you may recall that we had over $9,000 left over from that month due to the bonus that I received, and some of that can be dollar cost averaged in as we're doing this month. Additionally, there's 2 months out of the year, April being one of them, that I'm going to get 3 paychecks, which, after taxes and withholdings, will together bring in an extra approximately $8,500 over our normally monthly income. And once we surpass the Social Security limit, we will see a rise in our take-home pay as we'll no longer be paying that part of our FICA taxes for the last several paychecks of the year. Again, just helping to account for why this budget deficit is occurring this month. This is why I mentioned earlier that I don't really worry about things too much on a month-to-month basis as long as our annual plan is sound. Speaking of our annual plan, let's see where we stand year to date. On screen now, I've listed our roughly anticipated category spending for the year, which I've made some adjustments to since last month, as well as where we stand here at the end of March. There's certainly nothing setting these numbers in stone, and as our spending changes, I might make some adjustments to the numbers, but the important number here is our investment rate, which as of March is actually exceeding our 30% goal. And with the exception of taxes, everything is so far under our anticipated budget, mostly due to the dilution, the influx of extra cash my bonus last month created. So there you have it, our family spending and saving for the month of March. Not a particularly exciting month with no major expenses or emergencies, but still a step in the right direction. We continue thus far to hit every major target, and given what I know about the ebbs and flows in our income, we should be able to continue to reach our goals and even have some leftover spending money if we get the chance to take a trip or make a large home purchase, or 3. More on that in the months to come. Thank you all for joining me once again for this step in our financial journey. If you haven't already, please leave this video a like and go ahead and subscribe. I'll be back on Monday with another video on personal finance, investing, and retirement. And if you ring the bell, YouTube will be sure to notify you next week when I post our very first portfolio update, where you can get a glimpse of our investing strategy. These investments make up a key aspect of our path towards financial independence, and I look forward to watching them snowball towards our goal together with you. I'll see you in the next one.